Good morning, students. Welcome to today's accountancy class. Today also we are continuing the chapter Introduction to Accounting. The topic we discussed today is bookkeeping and accounting, then basic terms in accounting. Okay, so these are the topics today we'll discuss. So first we see what do you mean by bookkeeping. So in the definition, you think whatever we discussed on the definition only, recording, classifying, summarizing the accounting data, and summarizing, after that interpreting the results thereof. Okay, so all those things we discussed, and objectives of accounting, role of accounting at different branches of accounting, then limitations of accounting, qualitative characteristics of accounting, all those things we discussed. Now we'll come to next topic, that is bookkeeping. Actually bookkeeping, accounting are almost the same term. There is no much difference in the meaning also. Even then, what is bookkeeping, what is accounting, just we discuss. Okay, so bookkeeping means it is an art of recording in the books of accounts the monetary aspect of commercial or financial transactions. So commercial transaction means business transactions, buying and selling of goods and services. Financial transactions means only cash is involved, that is financial transactions. So when you record these financial transactions or commercial transactions in the books of accounts, whatever money is related, only the monetary aspects you write, that is called what? Bookkeeping. It is mainly concerned with the record keeping or maintenance of books of accounts. So mainly bookkeeping means to maintain the books of accounts, whatever transactions involved, that proper accounts we have to maintain. So bookkeeping means what are the things included? It mainly includes the following: identify the financial transactions. So first what we have to do, when a transaction is involved, we have to identify the transactions to be recorded. All transactions cannot be recorded. Transactions means, whatever happening in the business, that is called what? Transaction. Buying of goods, transaction. Selling of goods, transaction. Salary paid is a transaction. Wages paid, rent paid, commission received. Okay, all these are transactions. But we appointed a manager, it cannot be a transaction. Understood? No monetary aspect is involved. Recruitment of employee, it is not a transaction. So what to be recorded, what not to be recorded, so we have to differentiate that and write. So that is why we have to identify what to write or what to be written in the books of accounts. Okay, financial transactions. So whenever financial word, monetary word is there, that means money is involved in that. Okay, now next what to do, measuring the identified transaction in terms of money. Next what we have to do is, what is the monetary aspects involved in that transaction. So example, I told you, purchased goods for rupees 50,000, this is a transaction. So we identified that this is a transaction, so identification over. Now what is the monetary aspects involved in that, that we have to measure. So purchased goods for rupees 50,000 means that 50,000 is the amount or money involved in that transactions. Okay, so second step over. Now third is, record the transactions in the books of original entry. Afterwards what we have to do, third stage is what? Books of original entry. This books of original entry only we call it as journal. So in journal you have to record it. So how will record? Under double entry system. I told you in the previous class there are two systems, double entry system and single entry system. Double entry system means we follow debit and credit. Okay, that we will study when we study the recording chapter. So where we record is in the books of original entry. So books of original entry is known as what? Journal, otherwise known as journal. So there we record what can be debited, what can be credited, that in rules and all we have to study. Afterwards only you will understand it. Okay, so now you understand recording should be done where? In the books of original entry, that is known as journal. Then classify them into ledger. So all those same category of transactions, same nature of transactions, you have to put in the books, that is called what? Ledger account. So ledgers are accounts. Suppose today 5 times we purchased the goods, so all purchase we can put under one ledger, purchase account. Understood? So we sold goods 10 times, so all those sales we can put under one ledger, that is sales account. So all same category of item or same nature of items we can keep under one heading, that is called what? Ledgers. Okay, so all cash transactions we can keep under cash account or cash book we can prepare. Okay, so like this different or different accounts we can maintain under different heading. Salary account, whatever salary you pay you can keep under one heading, salary account, that is a ledger. So how much rent you pay every month, that rent you can keep under rent account, that is called what? Another ledger, rent account. So all accounts natures are ledger. So first we have to do in journal followed by ledger. Okay, so this is what bookkeeping. Now we are going to accounting. So bookkeeping is that only. Till ledger what is coming? Bookkeeping ends with the ledger preparation. Now we'll see accounting. What is accounting? Accounting start where bookkeeping ends. So where bookkeeping ends, there accounting starts. So where bookkeeping ended, ledger. So it includes the following. So accounting includes what? Summarizing the classified transactions in the form of profit and loss account. So actually the summarization part is coming under what? Accounting. Okay, profit and loss account preparation, balance sheet preparation, all those things are coming under accounting. So we can say this is little higher level than bookkeeping. Bookkeeping means just maintaining the books of accounts, so transactions whatever happened in the business we are keeping in the business, that is called what? Bookkeeping. But accounting is a little higher order thinking needed, higher level of thinking needed for doing accounting. So summarization means first we have to prepare profit and loss account, then balance sheet, then analyzing and interpreting the summarized results. So whatever summarized results means profit or loss, we got profit, so how much is the profit, how much was last year's profit, or the same business competitors, how they are performing. So all those things we can analyze and interpret and summarize the result, interpret the summarized results. Okay, what is our sales, what is our purchase, what is the gross profit, net profit, operating profit. So different profits are also there, that everything we will study later. Okay, so uh, results means preparing profit and loss account and balance sheet. So summarization, analysis, interpretation, everything is a combined combined form of all these things. In profit and loss account, balance sheet preparation, everything will do together only. Then communicating the information to the interested parties. So whoever interested parties are there, to them we have to communicate the information. So users of accounting we studied. Okay, so internal users are there, external users are there. Those who have interest in the business, to them we can submit, and it should communicate some meaning to those interested parties. So that is what accounting. Okay, but generally when we speak, if an accountant is there, then he has to do both bookkeeping and accounting part only. He only has to do, understood? But in big firms or large type of companies, bookkeeping may be a separate section, accounting may be separate section, due to large number of transactions. Okay, so large companies means there will be numerous large number of transactions will be there, so they may keep separate section for bookkeeping and accounting. But normally this accountant only has to do what? Both the work, means from identification, then measurement of transaction, then journal, then ledger, then summarization, interpreting and analyzing the results, then communication. All this process or characteristics of accounting we discussed, no? So the same thing only here also coming. Okay, now, what is accountancy? Accountancy means it refers to a systematic knowledge of accounting concerned with the principles and techniques which are applied in accounting. So, accountancy means it's a body of knowledge, or it's a doctrine like, and we will get all related knowledge in accounting and the principles and techniques which are applied in accounting. So, what are the principles in accounting? What are the techniques used in accounting? All those things we can see in the accountancy. So the accountancy is the subject. Accounting is that process what we are doing in the business. Accountancy is the subject, we can say. So accountancy refers to the entire body of theory and practice of accounting. So what are the theories, what are the practical aspects we are following in the accounting that is involved in accountancy? Okay, so these are the three terms which is given in the textbook, and you can understand it. Bookkeeping, accounting, accountancy, this is only the difference. Okay, now we'll go to the main part of this chapter, basic terms in accounting. Some terminologies or some words are used in our business world. So you should be familiar with all those words, because when we study later, these words will be coming. So you should know what it is. Okay, so basic terms means what? Terminology. Any subject you take, some related words will be there. When you study physics related words are there, or chemistry, biology, like that subject also related terms are there. So in accounting also some terminologies or terms or words are used, so that we will understand. Okay, so basically some 23 words, more than this we may find later, but basic things only we will discuss. 23 aspects are there. Okay, so business transactions, even account, business transaction, even account, capital, what is drawings, liability, assets and types, receipts, expenditure, expense, income, profit, gain, loss, purchases, sales, stock and types, trade receivables, trade payables, goods, cost, voucher, discount and types. So these are the basic terms we can study. Remember, if you are referring NCERT book, there may not be these many types, but if you are reading area publication book, these many words are there, these many terms are given. Okay, so but don't worry about that, in this book not there, that book not there, like that. So now onwards, in this video onwards, I am properly arranged and taking. So you write from video only, your notes you prepare from the video. Okay, so what you have to study, in that order I am giving you. So here basic terms will discuss. I think today we'll discuss till these 7 items. Okay, assets and types. So first is what? Business transactions. So what do you mean by business transactions? That already here and there when we talked about other topics we discussed, I think you remember. What do you mean by business transactions? So business transaction is an economic activity of the business that changes its financial position, that is assets and liabilities. So business transaction means due to that transaction some changes are happening in the business, in the position of business. So position means, always remember, assets, liabilities. Okay, either the cash is going from the business, or we are getting cash, or something we purchased and cash is gone. So something is happening in the business, that is an economic activity also. Okay, that is called what? Transactions. So transactions are of two types. So we can see any business you take, there you can see two types of transactions: external transaction and internal transactions. So external transactions are between one business entity and other business entity. So our business and another business, when we transact, that is called what? External transaction. Suppose this business, our business is contacting the supplier for the supply of raw material, that is external transaction. Okay, purchase of goods from the supplier. Now sale of goods, sale also what? Business and the customers are involved. So when business and the outside people are involved, that we can say what? External transaction. Or one business and another business, usually what? Business and the manufacturer, or business and the wholesaler, these people are involved in external transaction. Or business and the customers also, business and banks, business and income tax authorities, all these are what? External users, we studied, no, the same thing. but internal transactions are within the business entity. So what we can say, internal transactions are happening within the business organization. Okay, so we can say if there is purchase department, sales department, marketing department, stores department, production department. Suppose the raw material is issued from stores department to production department, so that is happening within the business. Okay, and salary paid to employees, that is internal transaction. So when internal, those who are inside the working inside the organization is involved, that type of transactions are known as what? Internal transactions. Okay, so transactions accounting aspects, when you consider, remember, transactions of monetary nature, financial nature only will be recorded. Okay, okay, now event. Next term is event. What do you mean by event? An event is the consequence or result of a transaction. So this is a after effect of the transaction. Due to a transaction, what is happening afterwards in the business, that is called what? Event. So for example, here you see Sachin is a person start a business with a capital of rupees 5 lakhs. He purchases goods for rupees 4 lakhs for, for goods for cash. So he paid cash and purchased the goods. Okay, then he sells 3/4 of the goods for rupees 3,80,000. So 3/4 of the goods what he purchased, he sold it for rupees 3,80,000. He also pays rupees 20,000 as rent for the godown. Okay, so he doesn't have his own godown or warehouse, so he arranged, or he took godown on rent basis, and he paid rent rupees 20,000. So these are the transactions. This is what called transactions. So I told you events are the after effect of transactions or the consequences of transactions. Now how we can take, this is transaction, of course, understood, but how we can derive events from this? Okay, so that just we'll discuss. Okay, so here transactions will check first. So from this question, investment of rupees 5 lakh in the business, how much capital he contributed in his business? 5 lakh rupees. Then he purchased the goods of for rupees 4 lakh, that is a transaction. Then he sold goods for rupees 3,80,000, that is also a transaction. Then he paid godown rent rupees 20,000, this also a transaction. So these are the transactions. Okay, now what is the events on these transactions? If you calculate your profit from these transactions, then it is what? Events. If you calculate closing inventory, inventory means, remember, inventory is what? Stock. Closing inventory means how much stock is remaining. So goods, first we purchase goods, from that goods we sell, then remaining stock is called what? Closing inventory. Opening inventory, closing inventory. This year closing inventory will be the opening inventory of next year. This year means 31st March. Okay, so usually the business ends or will close the business on 31st March. It starts from April 1st and ends at 31st March. Okay, so after 31st March, on 31st March, how much stock is available, that is called closing inventory. And the same closing inventory will be opening inventory on April 1st. Okay, then if you calculate cash balance, what is the available cash balance in his hand, remaining cash, that also we have to discuss. And calculation of capital, new capital means how much his capital increased. So capital means what? The amount invested by the owner in his business. So he invested how much? 5 lakh rupees he invested in his business. So from this transaction, if you calculate all these things, then these are the events. Okay, so because of these transactions, events happened. Understood? Okay, so just we'll discuss how to do this. Calculate from this transaction, suppose how to calculate the profit. Okay, systematically we do later, but from this available information, how to do that, just we'll check. Okay, so how to calculate the profit? Yeah. So how to calculate profit? So profit calculation is an event for the business. So how to calculate the profit? So for profit calculation, how to do? Profit is mainly the difference between purchase and sale of goods. Okay, so how, suppose I purchased the goods for rupees 100 and I am selling it for rupees 110, then what is my profit? 10 rupees my profit. And any other expenses I incurred, suppose 2 rupee incurred for transportation, then 8 rupees my profit. Simple example. Okay, so this way we have to calculate the profit from the purchase and sale of goods. So here also in this question we can see the purchase or the sale first we write. So sale should be more than purchase, then only profit will come. If purchase price is more than the selling price, then we incur loss. So it should not be like that, always sales should be more. So here sale is how much in the question? It is given 3,80,000 is the selling price. So what is the cost of purchase? Cost of purchase means we purchased 4 lakhs goods, but we sold only 3/4 of 4 lakh. So 3/4 of 4 lakh means it comes 3 lakhs. You can calculate and see. Okay, 4 cut, so 1 into 3, 3 lakhs. So 3 lakh is the profit. So this is sales, this is purchase price. Means we spent 3 lakh, or 3 lakh is the cost of the goods we purchased. That product we sold for 3,80,000. So what is the profit? 80,000 is the profit. From this, any other expenditure incurred for these goods? Yes, less go down rent. So we paid go down rent rupees 20,000 we spent. So that also we have to minus. So how much it will come? 60,000 is the profit. Understood? No? So this way we calculated the profit. So from the available information, we calculated profit. So this is an event. Okay. So what sold goods for rupees 3,80,000, purchased goods for rupees 4 lakh. Those are transactions. But due to that transaction, what is the effect in the business? That is called what? Events. So this is an example for that events. Now see here you can see 4 lakh we purchased actually, but we sold goods only 3 lakh. So remaining how much stock is there? 1 lakh stock is there. So second we can calculate closing inventory. Inventories are stock. Closing inventory means closing stock. So how much is stock is available now? So 4 lakh we purchased, goods purchased 4 lakh, but 3 lakh we sold. Now the available stock is how much? 1 lakh. So this 1 lakh is the closing inventory. Okay, now what is the capital of the new capital? Means whenever we make profit or loss, capital also will change. So capital is equal to opening balance of capital, opening capital plus profit. Opening capital plus profit. So what is the opening capital? How much he invested? 5 lakh. 5 lakh plus how much profit he earned? 60,000. We already calculated. So 60,000. So his capital now increased to 5 lakh 60,000. Okay. So all these things we will study later. So just I am talking about events. To understand events, I am telling this. Okay. Now another calculation we can do, cash balance. Now how much cash balance available in the business? So he brought how much? 5 lakh capital. That is the cash balance available. Okay. So opening cash balance. Capital means it is cash also. So opening cash balance. How much? 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs rupees he brought. And now he sold goods for how much rupees? 3,80,000. So sales, when we sell goods, we are getting cash. So how much we got? 3,80,000. So total cash is now 8,80,000. From that, how much we spent less what we spend we have to minus. So less how much we spend is to purchase goods we spend how much? 4 lakhs. 4 lakh we spend for purchase. Then go down rent we paid. Whatever cash outflow that you have to minus. So go down rent. How much we paid? 20,000 we spent. So 4,20,000 cash outflow. So this is the 5 lakh is the opening cash. So we added. Then we sold goods. So that way we got 3,80,000. So the total cash become 8,80,000. So from 8,80,000, now we have to minus the cash we paid or spent. So 4,20,000 we spent. So remaining cash, now cash balance available is 4,60,000. Clear? So this way we can calculate each and every transactions or events. From transactions we calculated the events. Now it is clear. Profit is 60,000. Capital is 5,60,000. Correct? And then cash balance is 4,60,000. Okay. Then closing inventory is 1 lakh. 1 lakh is the closing inventory. So this way you have to do. Understood? Okay. So transactions and events over. Now we'll go to the next term, account. So what do you mean by account? Transactions of same natures are recorded in one place is known as what? Account. This is what I told you, ledger accounts. Ledger, in bookkeeping I told you about ledger. So this ledger is known as what? Account. So example, machinery account, Mr. X account is a person, salary account, rent account. So same nature of whatever rent you paid for the year you can see in rent account. How much machinery you have in your business, when it is purchased, all those details will be there in the machinery account. Okay. Then Mr. X account, that can be a person who borrowed from us or to whom we have to pay money. Salary account, the whole year how much salary you paid, that also you can see in the salary account. So it is otherwise known as what? Ledger. Okay. It has got two sides, debit side and credit side. So normally we prepare ledger account in a T form. Means one side is debit, this side equal parts we divide it. One is date, then particulars, then what? JF, journal folio, then amount. Again date, particulars, journal folio, amount. This way we divide the account into two parts. So it is a shape of T. So we call it as T format or T account also we call. Okay. So this side is normally debit and this side is credit. So it got two sides. Okay. This is account. Everything will study. Then capital. So what is capital? The amount invested by the proprietor in his business is known as capital. In the previous example we saw he invested 5 lakh rupees in his business, or he brought 5 lakh rupees in his business. That 5 lakh is known as what? Capital. This is the amount which helps him to start the business. So always for business what needed? Capital is required. If capital is not there, then no one can start business. Okay. So this is the initial amount we have to invest in our business. Later on we'll get profit, so that profit also we can invest in our business. That is why profit we are adding with the capital. So in the previous question 5 lakh was the capital. Now when profit we earned 60,000, we added to that capital. So the new capital become how much? 5,60,000. That 5,60,000 again, that 60,000 he is investing in the business. Understood? And earning more profit. That way it continues. So one accounting equation is there. Capital, how to calculate? Assets minus liabilities. From your total assets, if you minus the all the liabilities, so asset, liabilities, everything we will discuss. So assets means what? Whatever properties you have in your business, that is assets. Liabilities are the payment you have to make to outsiders. So from what property you have, that from that whatever liability you have, that you minus, you will get what? Capital. So capital is otherwise known as owner's equity. Equity means, the word equity means what? Right. So capital is whose money? Owner's money. So owner's right in the business. Whatever happens, the owner wish that I should get back what I invested in the business. Okay, even if loss also he may what tolerate, but if his capital also he lost, then it is a very what tragedy like for the businessman. So always he wants, example I can say, suppose I am investing 1 lakh rupee in business, at least by doing business that 1 lakh rupee I want to get back immediately. That is my wish. Then afterwards whatever I am getting through profit, that will be the profit for me or extra bonus for my business. Okay, so capital is otherwise known as owner's equity, or we call it as net worth or net assets. Okay, capital is treated as liability for the business. Okay, capital also liability, because this amount capital business has to give back to the owner. So we assume like this: owner is there, business is there, this business received money from the owner. That is why for the business it is what? Capital. Now business has the obligation to pay back this money to the owner. So whatever business has to pay to others including the owner, that is called what? Liability. Understood? So capital also treated as liability. Next thing is drawings. So what do you mean by drawings? Any cash or value of goods withdrawn by the owner for personal use or any private payments made out of his funds, business funds, are called what? Drawings. So usually it happens, suppose if we are running a textile business, for our family members we can take clothes from that textile shops, or when we need money we may take money from the business. So from business if you take any money or any goods for your personal use, it's not sale, it is for personal use, we have taken that goods or money from the business, that is treated as what? Drawings. So when you take, or when you do drawings, it reduce the capital of the business. Okay, so for example I tell you, the previous example 5 lakh was the capital. From this suppose I am taking 60,000 for my son's fee payment, then it will reduce my capital. So I can say my capital become 4 lakh 40,000. Understood? I cannot say I invested 5 lakh, because from that 5 lakh how much I took? 60,000 I took for my personal purpose. So in the same way goods also, if any goods you have withdrawn, the good cost of that goods or the price of that goods is treated as drawings. Okay, it will be reduced or deducted from the purchase, not from capital. If goods withdrawn, then it will reduce the purchase. If cash withdrawn, then you have to minus it from capital. That is drawings. Next one is what? Liability. So what do you mean by liability? So liability means, it is a normal term we use in our daily life. It refers to the amount which the firm owes to outsiders. So whatever payment we have to make to the outsiders is called what? Liabilities. So we may borrow from our friends, we may borrow from other people, we may purchase goods from the wholesaler or the manufacturers and the payment has not made, so we call them creditors. We have to make the payment afterwards, so we call them as what? Creditors. So all those people, or the we borrowed loan from bank, so bank also, bank loan we have taken, that is also a liability. So whatever payment is due but not yet paid, or we have to pay afterwards in the business life, that is called what? Liabilities. So liabilities also, the previous equation capital I told you, the same way capital, how to calculate? Assets minus liabilities. So from the same equation we can calculate liabilities also. So liabilities is equal to assets minus capital. Okay, now liabilities are classified into internal liabilities, external liabilities, non-current liabilities, current liabilities. So what do you mean by internal liabilities? Liability of the business towards owner. Just now I told you capital is the amount business received from the owner. So it is the obligation of the business to pay back that capital to the owner. So that is treated as what? Internal liability. So this is internal liability or profit making, also a internal liability of business, within the business. External liability means opposite, all amounts which a business entity has to pay to the outsiders, such as creditors, bank overdraft, bank loan. So from bank we have taken more than our account balance, that is called what? Bank overdraft. Suppose I have only 50,000 in my account, but bank allowed me to withdraw 1 lakh rupees, so extra 1 lakh bank has given us a loan to me, a small loan, that is called what? Bank overdraft. For that, bank may charge interest from me. Okay, loan is different, bank overdraft is different. Bank overdraft is a temporary arrangement. Suppose I'm in urgent need of money, usually for business people bank will give overdraft facilities. So all this amount we borrowed from others, we have taken from others, it is our liability to pay it back within the period. How many months, or 3 months, or 6 months, or within 1 year, or long term loans are there, that maybe after 1 year also you can pay back. So whatever it is, this is treated as what? External liabilities. All external liabilities are very dangerous for the business, but when we need money we have to borrow also. That is the thing needed in business, because when opportunity comes, when the economic condition what needs for the investment of money, and if you don't have money, you can borrow from others, invest in business, then earn profit, then pay back that amount. Okay, now other classification is non-current liabilities. What do you mean by non-current liabilities? Which fall due for payment after 1 year. So non-current means it is not current. So we use current, non-current. Current means the present. Okay, in present we can say. Non-current means it is afterwards. So non-current liabilities means any payment or any loan or anything you have taken from somebody, but you can pay it after 1 year. So you are getting a relaxation of 1 year. 1 year you no need to pay that amount. After 1 year you can pay that type of loans. If you have taken, then it is known as what? Non-current liabilities. Another type is their current liabilities. So current liabilities is opposite of non-current liabilities. So current liabilities means what? Which are to be paid within 1 year. So all current liabilities we have to pay within 1 year. Okay, so current means within this year, non-current means after this year. Okay, so these are the classification of liabilities. Now next one is assets. So what do you mean by assets? Anything which is in possession or the property of the business enterprise is known as what? Assets. So anything we possess in the custody of business, we have land, building, machinery, furniture. So whatever properties we have in your home also, you can check. In our personal life we have a land, building, and whatever assets we have: washing machine, fridge, sofa, tables, other furnitures, almiras, all those things we can include in what? Assets. So just like that, whatever we purchase in the name of business, that is known as what? Assets. Assets are the properties of the business. It includes the amount due from others also. Means if somebody has to give money to us, that also treated as assets. Sometimes customers will purchase goods from us on credit, so we sold goods on credit for rupees 50,000. Then the customer said, I'll give you after 3 months. So we are expecting that money from that customer, so that money also treated as what? Asset only, because we will get it afterwards. So cash in hand, example, cash at bank. What cash you have in your business, that is called cash in hand. What you deposited in bank, that is cash at bank. Then furniture, machinery, land and building, bills receivable. Some people agree for what? Bill, I'll give you the amount after 3 months, that is bills receivable. This separate chapter is there, we'll study there. Then debtors. Now I told you, no, suppose I sold goods to someone for rupees 50,000. So that person told me, I'll give you after 3 months, but I am telling him, you write a bill agreement and I'll sign and keep with me. Okay, so in that bill agreement he has written that I am writing, pay to me this much amount on this date. Okay, so when I after 3 months I submit this bill to that customer and he will make the payment. That is bills receivable. Then debtors, without bills, that customer I can call him as my debtor. My debtors, because I sold goods to that customer, he has to pay money to me, so I call him debtor. Okay, so that is debtor. So all these things are what assets of business. Now, just like liabilities, assets are so classified under different headings. So here, first is non-current assets. Non-current means what? After 1 year. So here, in what meaning? Assets which are for use in the business for a long period of time is known as what? Non-current assets. So some assets we purchase for use in the business. All assets are for use only, but some items are we are purchasing for what? To sell. So whatever we purchase for use in the business and for a long period of time, then it is known as what? Non-current assets. Example, what I told you: land, building, furniture, machines, all those things, we will not sell it in the coming years, because we will use it maximum. Afterwards only will, if possible or if we need, will sell. Okay, machinery, furniture, motor vehicle, land, building, etc. So these are considered as non-current assets, or we can call it as long-term assets. Okay, we are using it for a long period of time. Our intention is not to sell that, to use that in the business. Then it is further classified into this non-current asset is again classified into two: tangible assets and intangible assets. So what do you mean by tangible assets? These are those assets which can be seen and touched. Okay, so like that assets also there. Some assets we cannot see and touch, so you may surprise, like that assets also there. Yes, in business that type of assets also there. So whatever assets available in the business we can see or touch. So machinery means we can see, land we can see, building we can see, furniture, all those things we can see, or we can feel it, or we can touch it and understand this is the item. That type of assets are called what? Tangible. Okay, another category is there, intangible assets. So why it is called intangible? Intangible assets means these assets does not have a physical existence but got value in the books of accounts. These type of assets, it has no physical existence. If you want to see that asset, it is not available in the business, but still it got value. So what are the examples of the assets? Goodwill. So goodwill means the reputation earned by the business. So reputation got value. Suppose I am doing business for some 5 years and my business is very popular in the society among the customers. So if I want to sell my business, I calculate the reputation I earned all these years and I will ask money from that purchaser. Somebody is purchasing my business, I will tell him I was working for all these 5 years and I earned this much reputation in the mind of customers. For that also you have to pay money to me. That is called what? Goodwill. So if you ask any business person, show your goodwill, it is not seen anywhere. Understood? But it is an intangible asset. It got value. Then patents, patent right, copyright, So if we have patent right to produce something, or if you have a particular type of machine, you are using that machine to produce secret technology or anything, that patent you have, you patent, so if we have some patent, that also got value. Then copyright also got value. Book publishers and all usually use what? Copyright. That also asset. Then trademarks means the symbol or the brand name and symbols which is registered. So registered brand name is known as what? Trademark. This trademark also got value, we can sell to others. Then computer software. So computer software also, this intangible assets. So these are the examples of what? Intangible assets. So intangible assets means we cannot see or touch it, but it got value. Now next category is current assets. So non-current asset classified into two: tangible, intangible. Now second category is current assets. Current assets means these are the assets in which business wants to convert it into cash. Yes, this current asset is the assets from which we want to make money. Okay, so these non-current assets are for as a supporting material for the business. Actually we want to use it in the business. Machine, example machinery we are purchasing, it is not for sale. We will use it for producing product, that products only will sell. But current assets means whatever products you produced now, that become stock, or your stores, that we can sell and convert into cash, so that become current assets. Okay, so current assets are meant for sale within 1 year. This otherwise known as floating assets or circulating assets, as the amount and nature of such assets keep on changing automatically or continuously. So continuously these assets amount will change. Today cash balance is 50,000. Tomorrow's cash balance may be 1 lakh. So cash in hand, cash at bank, debtors, bills receivable, stock, all these items are considered under what? Current assets. So current assets are those assets which are meant for converting it into cash and within 1 year. So maximum 30 before 31st March we want to convert it into cash. Suppose textile shop, we purchased the clothes and kept it, so we don't want to keep it as a stock there, so we want to sell it. So then when you sell, that stock becomes sale, sale become cash. Understood? So if you are making credit sale, that stock become credit sale. Credit sale create debtors, then when the debtors pay money, then it become cash. Okay, so like this, through circles or through the circulation, we want to convert this current asset into cash. How fast you make current asset into cash, that much good for the business. Okay, then fictitious asset, another category of asset is fictitious assets or nominal assets. So fictitious asset, nominal assets, actually you can understand it later only. Fictitious asset means this is fictitious, like means only the name is there, nominal nature. So when we study accounting rules and all, no, some items which get debit balance, so debit balance item, all debit balance items, it will appear on the asset side even though it is not an asset. Okay, so it is not an asset, but because of the debit balance of that item, it appear on the asset side. So that and all we will study later, now you will not understand it. So that type of things are called what? Nominal asset or fictitious asset. For example, suppose profit is there, profit is added with the capital, but if it is loss, then we will show on the asset side. So why it is showing on the asset side? It is not an asset at all, but still it appear on the asset side only. That is reason and all we will study later. Okay, now, so these are the things: advertisement expenditure, debit balance, so P&L account. Actually no, these things, to understand it, we have to uh, travel, or we have to study lot of things. Afterwards only you will understand it. Okay, so anyway, these are some terms which are going we are going to study only, but simply you understand it this way. So to understand it or to remember, when you see those terms later, should not be confused. Okay, so these are the things, today's topic. I think it is clear. Any doubt you can contact me. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.